I've been watching anime for a long time now, maybe even a little bit too long, honestly. And in that time, I have seen and talked to many people in the community, most of which are chill and fun to talk to, but others, well, isn't that why I'm making this video? Hello everyone, this is the RPG Monger, and today I want to take the time to talk about the dark side of the anime community, some of which I'm sure quite a few of you can relate to or have experienced firsthand. So without further ado, let's get into it. So first, I want to talk about what I'm sure has been around for a while, but has increased in recent years, I feel. Just the sheer amount of judgment that goes around in this community is insane. Like, I understand if you're having a discussion and you disagree with someone, but holy shit, I see people go on fucking rampages when people don't like the anime they like, and vice versa. Like, here, let me give you an example of what I usually do. Many a time, I've met people who legitimately like SAO, and for those of you who don't know, I don't exactly like SAO. And for whatever reason they like it, but at the same time, they're chill people. I'm not gonna shun them just because they like a show I don't enjoy or think is good. Do I disagree with them? Sure, but that doesn't mean they're a shit person by default. Though then, there's the polar opposite, which I have also encountered where, and if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure this was at a con, this one girl got really angry because some other people in her cosplay group didn't agree with the shit her and her boyfriend were doing. Like, I don't know the full context, but fucking hell, what a shit show. And on that note, that'll serve as a perfect segue into the next thing I want to address. Just in general, when you're at a con, whether you're cosplaying or not, just a PSA from your local RPG monger. Please respect people's personal space when they're cosplaying. For example, last year when I went to a pretty big con in my area called MechaCon, I cosplayed Gyro Zeppeli from JoJo. And overall, it went over pretty well, but there was this one guy that was cosplaying the main character from the same manga, who straight up out of nowhere ran up and hugged me. Don't do that, guys. Please, like, even if they're from the same anime/manga as you. At their core, they're just another person who may have more of a regard for personal space than you do. I really do need to make a video on my con stories because boy do I have tons of them, but I'll save the rest for then. Now, if you're the kind of person who refuses to watch everything that is quote-unquote mainstream, and only like the most least known anime out there, you're not the smartest person in the world, just saying. Oh, and that goes both ways because if you only watch the mainstream shit and refuse to watch anything else because it isn't quote-unquote mainstream, you need to reevaluate some things about yourself. Like, this is my outlook on it. If something is obscenely popular, most of the time, it got popular for a reason, whether it be good or bad. Oh, and can we just have a moment of silence for all the people who have unironic waifu wars? Like, I'll jokingly say, so-and-so is my waifu, but the people who go all out and get actually angry at others over it really make me question some things about the world. Also, I haven't seen it much in recent times, but remember how people would legitimately not associate with you if you preferred dubs over subs to the point where it spawned an entire subculture of memes? Though luckily it's died off now. But then there's the other drastically similar deal, with people who look down on others due to them choosing to watch the anime instead of reading the manga. Like, to this day, I still see this shit alive and well, and I just cannot comprehend why. When will people realize that different people prefer different things, and that you aren't the center of the universe? Honestly, who are you to dictate what someone else likes? Someone you probably don't even know in the first place. It annoys me so much. And as I was talking about those things, they lead into a certain kind of anime fan that spawns every now and then. The Anime Elitists. Those who believe that their way of watching anime, reading manga, and critiquing the medium as a whole is the only way out there, and if anyone else differs, then they are automatically lower than you. Like, how massive of a fucking ego do you need to get to that point? I really want to know. How many hours do you stare at a mirror every day just to admire how perfect you think you are? How much of an asshole do you have to be to take everyone's enjoyment out of a medium whose sole purpose is to provide enjoyment in the first place? I'm just ranting at this point, but like, seriously, if any of you know people like these in real life, for the love of everything, talk some sense into them for me. Like, I have known people who, just because we got into a discussion and I didn't agree with their point, they flat out spoiled a major plot point in something I was genuinely interested in. That, my friends, is what you call shitty. Though now that we've gone through all the garbage I've seen in this community, it's time to go to the nightmare level of the anime community. The Weeaboos. You've seen them, you've heard of them, hell, you may have even been one at one point regrettably. We've all been there. Though today, I'm not only talking about those classic weebs, I'm talking about those that just get a little bit too obsessed, to the point where they start becoming a nuisance to others, like I get it. If you're a young lad or lady around the age of 14 or below, it's more acceptable, I think. I would know since a long time ago when I was in around 8th grade, I started really getting into anime and began to think that Japan is the actual best and America is garbage. I remember actually trying to learn Japanese from the anime that I was watching, which I have to say is not one of my most proud moments, and I regret it profusely to this day. Coupled with an edgy phase, I'd say it's probably the worst combo. Like, I'm just gonna say right now, I got really into Death Note when I was younger for specific reasons that you guys can probably guess. Though I've seen people that are way worse than how I was, with changing their entire name to some really generic Japanese name that they heard in an anime that they think either sounds cool or cute. Not to mention, I will see them only use chopsticks when eating, and always put in really badly pronounced Japanese words and phrases into their daily conversations. Overall, it's just such a bad time to witness, and an even worse time to imagine what they're gonna go through once they realize how ridiculous they're being. Though there is one thing I'd like to set straight. Being interested in the Japanese culture and enjoying anime does not make you a weeaboo, not by a long shot. It makes you a normal-ass person with interests just like everyone else. I swear, those people who anytime you mention anime around them pull the weeaboo card really frustrate me, especially since they themselves watch anime in the first place. After all I've said, you'd honestly think the anime community is a horrible place to be in, right? Wrong. Even among all those kinds of people, the vast majority are just straight up nice, respectable people who just enjoy anime for what it is. Entertainment. And I know I may have been a little bit harsh in this video, but I'm serious. If you're like any of the things I mentioned here, it's okay. There's always time to correct yourself and realize your faults. We all have to do it eventually. So I'll leave you with this before I go into my outro. So what if you enjoy anime that are just popular to hate on, or aren't really well known? In the end, it's our opinions that make the world go round. Oh, and do tell me your horror stories from the anime community. I'd love to hear them. If you enjoyed this little rant of mine and want to see more like it, do subscribe. And today's cool thing of the day is the anime love, Chunibyo, and other delusions, because I swear, this anime speaks to me on a personal level due to how spot on it is with the delusions I used to have as a middle schooler. So I suggest you all check it out. It'll prove to be quite the eye-opening experience, I can assure you. So that being said, I am the RPG Monger, and don't forget that each and every one of you are fantastic.